Hey guys, Matthew, and today I'm going to show you guys how to turn your alterations into pure gold. You'll see that my camera is a little bit in a different spot than typically. That's because I need you guys to see the highlight items. So before I go with the video, I want to say that this is not something that I found out. This is something that a friend of mine, Quiddy, approached me on Discord about, and I decided that, well, yeah, I'm actually going to make a video about this because this is pretty damn strong. The man made a mirror in one day with this strategy, so you know, it's pretty good. But what we're looking at is essentially how to alteration spam the correct method. So typically when people are alteration spamming, what they'll do is they'll type in the highlight of whatever they want. So let's just say if they were looking for alterations, right, they would type in alteration and then they would just spam away. And whenever the watchstone highlight lights up, right, let's just say if we can get it to light up, whenever it would light up, that typically means, well, you know, you got the mod that you were looking for, so you probably got, you know, stacks of alterations. Now I would like this to show up so I can move on with my life, but it doesn't look like it's happening. Oh, there we are, right? So now I know that alteration is on my watchstone, which is cool, but the thing is, all these other alterations that I was clicking, right, during that time, I maybe potentially rolled over something else that was really good, maybe even better than my alteration that I was going for, right? So this trick is going to be absolutely crazy for the people who are basically alt spamming bases that have multiple things, or multiple affixes I should say, on them that are very good. So for example, if you were alt spamming watchstones, you could be doing Hayward Hamlet, right? And you could be looking for Jun, anything related to Jun, like investigators or whatever, but you could also be looking for harvest. You could be looking for essences, rituals, right? If you're doing Valdo's Rest, you'd be looking for ladens. You'd be looking for what's it called, auspicious. You could be looking for metamorph. You could be looking for Juns, right? There's a lot of different modifiers on each of these watchstones. Now of course every single watchstone has its own base, and the bases are going to determine what you can and cannot roll on them, but the idea is that every single watchstone pretty much have multiple modifiers that people care about. So the idea here is that we are going to reverse engineer the search, and instead of searching for something, right, and like in this case it was alteration, we are going to look for basically not alteration. So it's going to be pretty interesting. What we're going to do first is we're going to type in the name of the item which we are using. So this is, for example, is a watchstone, so we can just type in watch and that's going to be good. And now instead of putting something that we want, we're going to put things that we don't want. We're going to put things that we want. So what I'll do is I'll put an exclamation mark, and an exclamation mark essentially means I don't want this. I want this to be hidden if it's there, right? So what I can do in this case is I can type in the affix name of the things that I do want, and I'm telling the game that I don't want those things. So for example, I could do exclamation mark essential on a chromium. I could do let's just see, I could do exclamation mark val, because val is pretty good, right? I could do let's just say one more, right? I could also do chaotic. Sure, why not? Or actually I'll just use alterating because it's pretty good. So I can do alterating, exclamation mark alterating. All right, now you'll see that my watchstone is not glowing up, and it actually has the alterating in it. So like I said, we're actually going to reverse search what we typically do, but in this case we're going to be able to do multiple things. So now what I'm going to be looking for is not a glowy watchstone, it's a non-glowy watchstone like this, right? So if I alteration spam, it's always going to glow until it stops glowing. And when it stops glowing, right, when it stops highlighting, that means that I actually got the modifier that I wanted. So in this case, I got alterating, right? Let's just see if we can get another modifier to show up from the list that I asked for. So you'll see anytime that it's glowing, it means that we're getting something we don't care about. Okay, so we got alterating again. Let's see if we get something else in alterating, just to show you guys how OP this is. And then I'll give you guys basically a rundown on how to maximize the usage of this. Ah, damn it. I just rolled over one that I think was Val, and then I rolled on alterating. So if you're a Pepega, you can still roll over good stuff. All right, there we go. Here's essential, right? So we have the other modifier that we're asking for. So it's no longer highlighted. That means that we got something we cared about. Now, the thing is, if you were doing this with a single watchstone, right, one at a time, it maybe wouldn't be the best thing in the world, because you're still only doing one watchstone at a time, and you still need to pay attention to only one at a time. But now, what if I told you that instead you could use, let's say, the best possible base, which right now is probably either Hayward Hamlet or either Hayward Hamlet or Valdo's Rest, I believe, would be the two best, because obviously in Hayward Hamlet you have like the 4 rituals, so you could do Meticulous, you could do Uncertain, you could do Skeptical, you could also do let's just say Devoted, Dedicated, etc. Right? You could do all these really good ones. You could also do the ones that are related to Harvest, because some of them are very, very low weighting. This, for example, Mature, has a Harvest crops in areas that have an extra chance to grow T4 plants, right? And these bases are like 10C. So what you could do is buy like 20 of these bases, put them in a tab, right? Like in a regular tab, put all of them, and then do this and roll all 20 of them at once without having to pay attention to any of them. Because as long as they don't stop glowing, you know for a fact that the list of modifiers that you're asking for, you know, is not present. Now, I'm not sure how many, let's see, let's have a look. I'm actually not exactly sure how many characters you can have in this list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, it looks like you can have quite a bit of characters in this list, actually. So you should be able to do quite a few, right? So we have, let's see, 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 50. You have 50 characters in the highlight item. A total of 50 characters. So if you're doing exclamation mark, or sorry, watch, which you don't want to do exclamation mark, by the way, for the watch initially, because we're kind of pairing up the things that we want with the things that we don't want. So we want a watchstone, right? And then we don't want these specific modifiers, modifier 1, modifier 2, right? And so forth. So we're doing watch and then what we don't want. We could do the same thing with a foil, right? So you could do a jeweled foil, you could do foil, and then you could do merciless, you could do flaring, you could do celebration, you could do dictators, right? You could do all of those, and you don't have to type in the full name either. But one thing that I will say, however, is that if you're using too small of a portion of the name, so for example, if for emblematic I was using just M, right, just EM, if there's another modifier that has EM in the name, it can basically start showing wrong results, which is just something to note. But again, a huge shout out to Quiddy for telling me about this. I have to say it's pretty damn insane when it comes to alteration spamming. That's pretty much all I have for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Before I go, I want to say massive thank you to my supporters: Flame Scorpion, Richard, Willie, Alex, Jordan, Emma, Raymond, Tim, Scott, Lost with Map, Grimoire, Nathaniel, Kremis, Justin, Kevin, the other Justin, Sonis, Axel, Mercury, and Bizen. So massive thank you to everybody listed here, anybody else who supported me in the past, and of course everybody else who wishes to remain anonymous. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.